Welcome back. Another day of me talking to you. I'm glad you're here. And so I just want to say again, I talked about this yesterday, but I am really loving the conversations that I'm having with so many of you one-on-one in the messages. It's been challenging for me to work through some of real life issues and what you guys are experiencing versus what my experience is. And I know that I can come off kind of I think I'm type A, so I think very black and white, and I'm very strict with myself. I'm a perfectionist, and I know that's not everyone, but it's who I am. And this year and next, I guess, I'm really working on being who I am without, I don't want to ever offend anyone on purpose or, there's definitely boundaries, but I want to be who I am because that's important to me and that will bring more value and peace to my life. So, based on some of the things that I've been hearing, and this is not directed at anyone specific, it's just a theme that I'm seeing overall, is that everyone is identifying with a certain, I don't know if I want to say personality, but I guess we'll go with personality. And how you identify is so important, and it's linked to how you're going to show up for yourself, right? Your habits and your identity that you take on are the story that you create for yourself. So let's say you think, you're not business smart, or you say you're lazy, or, everyone in your family is overweight. So of course you're overweight, or, you love to have a drink. That's just who you are. You're not someone who could not have a drink. You can't even imagine that. That's who you are. Or you just naturally sleep in because you're always just tired. That's just who you are. You're a tired person. Or you're broke. Money is a huge one. I'm broke. I can't make money. Money is the root of all evil, all that kind of stuff, right? These identities, these words that you use to, kind of create that personality of yourself, because our personalities are created. We can decide who we want to be. Okay. And it takes a lot of work to really be intentional with changing that, but you can do it and it's worth it depending on what you want to do. And so I want you guys to really look at, how are you identifying yourself? What identity have you created that is causing excuses where you are not going to reach your goals? Okay. And because what I want you to understand with your identity is that your identity, the words that we use and what we believe, those lead to the story that we create, our personality that we create, which leads to action. And action leads to reality. Okay, so it's always easy for me to go back to the health and fitness stuff. And if we're going to say, let me make sure. Oh, okay, I'm going. The health and fitness stuff. So if we're going to say that we are from a family that is overweight, my family just eats all this greasy food. That's how we come together. That's our community. That's how we show love. That's great. I mean, there are some good things to the way that food creates community, but that doesn't need to be your everyday. That can be a family barbecue, right? You are creating the identity for yourself that says, that's who I am. And so I'm always going to be overweight. I'm never going to make the right decisions. So if we believe that we are going to be overweight regardless, why are we even going to try? Right? You have this, and this is, I hear this example, which I personally disagree with, but I know I'm in a minority on it. But people say, if you believe you're always going to be overweight, why would you ever choose the salad? So you have this salad here, which anyway, so you have the salad, or you have a pepperoni pizza, or you have a Philly cheesesteak, sandwich. Why are you ever going to make the choice of having that salad, having your extra veggies and your extra water, if you believe that you're always going to be overweight no matter the choices you make, right? So the identity led to a story, and it leads to your action, because you're not going to choose the veggies, you're going to choose the pizza or that really tasty food, right? And then that's going to create your reality, because of that action that you're choosing to make. You are going to be overweight, or you are going to be, broke, or whatever it is. So these words are so powerful. And I think that people don't realize the reality that they create for themselves based on their self-talk, based on these inner beliefs that we've had since we were children, or, they're created whenever in our life, but we have grasped onto them and we're not letting go. But then we have these goals of like, well, that'd be nice. But like, if we don't let go of this identity and start creating a new identity, we're never going to get past that, right? And so who we are is really based on the past decisions that we've made. And we are accountable for that. And I'm not going to go into all these, well, what if this happened? Or what if there's always things that could have happened. And, I want to honor those people. And I'm probably not talking to you, but I'm talking to the other majority of people who need to take responsibility for where their life is and who they are right now. We could have all made better decisions. We've all made mistakes, but who we are is based on the decisions that we have made. And so how do you view those who have achieve the goals that you want to achieve? And that's just a question I have for you to kind of think through as you're looking at this identity. And it's going to help you pinpoint some of the issues in your thought process around who you are and the goals you want to achieve. So like, let's say you started this business and you're in network marketing, but you look at the top people and you're like, well, they're just taking advantage of everybody. They just want to make money. Rich people will take advantage of the poor. Okay, so if this is how you view successful people, and of course there are people out there like that, but in general, if that's how you generalize success, why are you even going to try to achieve that? Your brain is like, I don't want that. That's negative, right? So there's something in there that you really need to start journaling about or meditating, praying about to figure out like, why do you have that view of people who've achieved a goal that you say you want, but you look at them in such a negative way? Or, like if you're on Instagram, you're seeing, all these fitness people and you're like, well, I came from an overweight family. I ate X, Y, and Z as a kid. I, just sat on the couch and watched TV as a kid. I didn't have a good start. I'm sure that they just have genetics. That's how their family was, da, 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 da. Okay, no. Yes, some people do that's naturally who they are. Majority of people have put in years of work to be where they're at. They're athletes, okay? And you could do the same thing. If you really made the same choices that they made, you could be where they are, right? And it goes back to that we are our past decisions, and their past decisions were, either focused on their health and wellness, or, what their schedule routine was, right? Or if they're, very wealthy, they, really put time and consistent effort into their business and didn't give up. And so that's what you're seeing is the end result. And oftentimes I think people they let the identity that they have given themselves that they don't want to acknowledge, they take that and they put it on people who are where they want to go. And so just be very careful and don't compare your chapter 1, whatever that goal is you're working on, health and fitness or business or, whatever it is, you just started. So don't compare yourself to that person who's on, in their chapter 30 and they've been working on it for 5 years, so like, let's say you're at gym, it's your day 4 and you're next to a woman who's been there for 7 years, 5 days a week. You can't compare yourself to that. Okay. You can be inspired by it, but just be very careful not to compare yourself and really just acknowledge your thought process and where you're at. And we have to focus on a shift of mindset first before we can really start to look at how to achieve these goals that we've been discussing, and really a shift in who we believe we are. Because if you continue to identify yourself in this way, that's who you're going to be. So if you keep saying, I'm just not a healthy eater, that's just who I am. I don't like veggies, well, most likely in 3 months, you're still going to be not a healthy eater who doesn't like veggies, okay? And so you really you have to daily make that mindset shift. It's something it's very difficult in the beginning. The more you do it, the easier it gets. They say, everyone's heard, like, you are what you eat, which is very true, but you are what you believe. Okay. So who you believe you are, what you believe of the world and the people around you, that is also who you are, And so it takes a lot of time to work on these goals that we've been discussing and starting to create better habits and better identities. So my question for you also today, I have lots of questions, and I would love for you to message me this one, but what habits do you hide? So if I was to watch everything you do every day for a week, what would you try to hide? Or what would you not do that week because you didn't want me to know you do it? Right? And sometimes that's just imagine, like, let's say, your family comes for a week or your best friend comes for a week. Is there something that you're doing different while someone else is watching? That's worthwhile to look at, right? Like, what are we changing because we know we shouldn't be doing it or we know we should be doing it when others are around? And just, write it down and start kind of meditating on that. Like, what does that mean? Does it mean, because it can mean different things. It can mean that it's something that you need to change, or there could be also some mindset stuff of judgment in there. And maybe you just need to process that and realize that the people who love us aren't as judgmental as we think they are. And then the last thing here, I was doing some research, and since we're, on this track of goals right now, only 3% of people who achieve their goals, so 100% of, let's say there's this group and 100% of them achieve a goal, only 3% of them are going to maintain it, which is crazy to me. Because let's say you put in all that effort to lose 20 pounds, or you put all of that effort into running a business that makes, $8K a month, only 3% actually stick to those habits and maintain the goal. So the biggest factor here is the people around you. And we talked about that, I don't know, within the last week, we talked about it, is the importance of who you surround yourself with, right? So if you surround yourself with, let's say you're a business owner and you hit that 8K, if you're surrounding yourself with people who are also achieving success in their business and they're always learning, they're always looking at growing and whatnot, you are more likely to be that 3%. You're going to keep up. You're going to keep going. But if you surround yourself with negative Nancy's who are just like, your job is a scam. You can't work remotely and actually make good money. You're just screwing people over. You're probably going to be the 97%. Or let's say you lose all that weight and you surround yourself with people who are also focused on health and fitness. You're probably going to be the one who keeps going. But if you surround yourself with everyone who is always eating the pizzas, who's always just Netflixing, all night, you're probably going to not keep up with that goal, right? Or like if you're an addict is a big one, because if you actually become sober and you're recovering, that's why they say don't be around people who are still an active addict, right? Like you need to be around people who have the same habits as you, because you do all this work, you work on your identity. You need to have people who have a similar identity around you. And not saying we don't need diversity, but I'm just saying like we really have to be careful with the influence in our life. So, every day is another step forward. Every day you just want to work on being a little bit better than yesterday. And there's days we're not going to do it. There's days we need a break. But look at that 1%. Don't try to go, full blown and I'm going to be 100% better tomorrow. Just be a teeny bit better. Whatever it is your goal is, what's that teeny bit you can do to make you that much closer to your goal? Because if you do that every day, within a year, you're going to see a lot of change. Everything you do is a vote for the person that you want to be, the person you desire to be. And so, like, let's look at sobriety. Every time you don't have a drink, you're voting for you to be a healthier, sober person. Every time you do have a drink, you're voting for yourself to be a drinker. Like, it's very straightforward. Our actions are huge. They lead to who we are, who we identify with, or identify as, in the belief system that we carry around with us. So those are my thoughts for today. Keep talking to me and I will be back tomorrow. I love you all and have a wonderful day.